All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 485 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern Atlanta Falcons football, and we're going to touch on Atlanta Falcons football today. We have Kyle Pitts, after going through his surgery on his knee, is going to be out for the season. So, what does that change for the Falcons? To be quite honest, I don't think anything changes. I think we're going to still be the same team that we were. If you watch anything of any part of the Washington Commanders game, you got what you got. And if you really think about it, there was no different than what we saw this entire season. So, yeah, it's a bummer that Kyle Pitts is gone. I think he's gone for the season. He's been extremely underutilized, in my opinion, even though his numbers are pretty much decent. But I think he's been underutilized because this team could be much more explosive, in my opinion. We're going to talk about all of this and get into my thoughts and opinions. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Listen, I want to thank you guys a lot. The numbers have been looking crazy since the Georgia Southern win against Appalachian State. You guys have been so supportive. I cannot thank you guys enough. We're growing over here, and we're growing because of you guys. I don't make this happen because of just me talking. It's because you guys are receptive to what I have to say. And the fact that you guys are receptive to what I have to say, it keeps me motivated to continue to do this. And we're just going to get better and better. Not only just with the Falcon stuff, but with the Georgia Southern stuff as well. We're going to get really, really good at this. And we're going to continue to be the best, in my opinion, the best podcast that's covering Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. BetUS.com. Go ahead and click that link and put in $100. If you put in $100, you will get a 125% bet book bonus. Put some money down and put some wages down on some of these games, these bowl games that's be coming up, the NFL games, NBA, MMA, the World Cup is still going on. I'm pretty sure you can, bet on any of those things. Click that link down in the description. It helps the show. It's my affiliate link, and it helps everything that we do over here. $100 will get you 125% bet book bonus. You're already doubling just by going in and win some of that money on betting and putting some wages on these games. With that being said, let's talk about these Falcons. Kyle Pitts, he suffered an MCL injury, had a surgery on it, and he's out for the season. So what does that mean? Not much, in my opinion. I think the Falcons are going to continue to do what they do. Michael Pruitt is stepped in. He's done pretty decent. And for the most part, the Falcons have played okay. They played all right. They should have won the game against the Washington Commanders. I keep forgetting. I was going to call them the other name, the Redskins, but I keep forgetting. Should have won that game, but once again, bad play calling. And I'm not necessarily going to blame it on Mariota this time because Mariota has been, the scapegoat, and from my standpoint, for a lot of games earlier this season. But this game here, it was just bad play calling. You're running the ball. You ran the ball pretty much all the way to get down to the inside the 5, and you passed the ball. It's like, why would you do that? It's just bad play calling. So even though as much as I want Mariota to step aside or play on him, but just the total picture of everything and what the Falcons are going to be going through for the rest of the season without Kyle Pitts, you already kind of got a preview of it already. We got a preview of it when I think he was injured earlier this season. The Falcons in itself, they're productive in the running game, but I still don't think what they can do, what they're doing, and the weapons that they have is enough. I don't think it's enough to win football games consistently. It's like this team is doing just enough to get by. They're doing just enough to say, hey, we're playing competitive football. No, when you have a division like you're in, when you have the talent like you have, there's no excuse to have 140, 150, 160 yards passing. When you have a Drake London, Zacchaeus, I'm not even going to talk about Kyle Pitts. When you have Zacchaeus, Drake London, you had Michael Pruitt, you got these other guys who can catch the football, especially guys out the backfield as well. You should be averaging 250 easily. There's no excuse for this. Drake London should have like 10 targets a game. And he should, because, he doesn't drop. I think he dropped like his first pass he dropped within, I think in 70-something tries or something like that. If you got a guy who got a ratio like that, who could catch the ball that much, That's what we should be doing. But unfortunately, what we have here, we're going to have situations where these guys are going to continue to play the way they play. I think they're going to be okay against Pittsburgh because they play Pittsburgh next. But when you start playing like the Ravens, you got to play the Buccaneers again. You got to play the Saints again. This type of play, I said it in an earlier podcast. This is the way you lose a lot of games. I mean, we're right now, 5-7? We should easily only have like 4, maybe 3 wins. And I'm dead serious when I say that because the way we lose these games are like ridiculous. You pass for more yards, you win these games. And I ain't talking about just passing for more yards. Did you see some of the passes that Mariota's been throwing? One pass to Drake London, he had to scoop it off the ground basically. If he caught that in stride, it would have been a much better result in that play. But like I said, this is what we have. There's not much that's going to change. And I don't even know if I can say that's a good thing or a bad thing because we're playing mediocre football. You don't know if we're going to go in and win a game. You don't know if we're going to lose a game. And the way that we lose games are like right at the cusp, right at the last minute. Or it'd be like these 1 or 2 plays that tilts the whole game. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's a team game, this, that, and that. No. Not in this case. Not in this case. This is not a situation where, oh, the entire team lost this game. Well, what about when we couldn't stop the run? Well, listen, them boys decided to run the ball and be very effective against us. Now, there's other games that other teams couldn't run on us at all, but this game, it wasn't our day. It's a grimy game. We played in bad weather. You know that's going to be the bread and butter. And if you run the ball consistently in the rain and in the mud, you're going to get some breaks because guys are going to get tired of tackling running backs in that type of weather. So it doesn't matter if it's Brian Robinson. It could be Caleb Huntley. It could be Trent Richardson for all I care. You get somebody out there to run the ball consistently like that, they're going to break off some runs because nobody's going to be able to stop the run in that type of environment. That's why both teams were so effective. That's why the Falcons should have continued to be as effective in the red zone inside the 5 and ran that ball in for a touchdown. But no, in those conditions, you pass the ball. And of course, that Arthur Smith is going to defend it. He's going to defend this for the entire season. He's going to defend what he does the entire, it takes a big man, and I'm not saying casting the aspersions on him. It takes a big man to understand when they made a fault. I know I make faults. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm behind this microphone and I got all the answers. You got some people who do that. They come on this microphone and tell you they got all the answers to what's going on with the Falcons. I'm going to tell you I don't. And I think that's what makes this podcast much more unique because I don't know it all. I have no problem getting checked to tell me, hey, you don't know this, you don't know that. Because, like, for instance, all this time I've been a Falcons fan, I didn't know Grady Jarrett's dad was Jesse Tuggle. I didn't know that. But I'm not about to sit here and say, or boost my chest up like I did and call and act like I know it all. No, that's what makes this podcast so effective in my opinion. You learned from me and I learned from you. I have no problem with the feedback. I'm okay with feedback, even if it's negative, positive, or indifferent. So when you tell me something and I'm learning, it just makes the content better instead of me just saying, oh, I know this, you shut up. It doesn't work that way. But you got people who do that, but not throwing any names out there. You got people who do that. Nevertheless, I don't know. We're not going to know. That's just the beautiful thing about it. But I wish Arthur Smith would sit here sometimes and not be so smug. I get it. He has this on edge attitude that keeps him. I don't know the word to use. But he just has this on edge attitude that has him looking like, in some cases, that makes it seem like he knows what he's talking about. And I'm not saying that he don't. But at the same time, sometimes it's a detriment because he does some things to the media that just is very off-putting. And people that's outside looking in, we can see the problems with this team. He's just ready to ride with the ship, and it's fine. it's fine if you want to ride with the ship, but sometimes you just gotta make some things and make some tweaks. And this is why I say this is going to be the detriment, because you're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to do anything to actually be more productive. You're just sticking with what you have. I have no problem with sticking with what you have if you can make it effective. But time and time again, we continue to see things that turn right back around and happens over and over again. We need to be in a situation where we are actually we need to be in a situation where we're actually being productive and actually finding ways to be what's the word I'm looking for? We need to be in a way that we're actually putting defenses on their back on a consistent basis. I don't see where that's an issue. I don't see where that's a problem, because we have the tools to do so. I already said I feel like the common denominator of this team is the quarterback play, and it's not that Marcus Mariota is a bad person or a bad player. He's just not getting it done, because I think he plays fairly well. It's just that there's moments where you're like, all right, what the hell is this? And I think every quarterback has that moment. Excuse me. I think every quarterback has that moment. I'm not saying that they don't. It is what it is. But at the same time, you have to understand that what you're dealing with is a quarterback that's limited. He may be a good player. He may be a good teammate. And I think he's a great teammate because everybody loves him. But I just think that what you have here is somebody who just can't get you over the hump. There's no reason you should be 5-7 at this point. You should be running away with this division. And I'm serious. Even with all the woe, you got the situation with the Bucks. Tom Brady and them just can't get it done right now. I don't even want to talk about the Panthers and the Saints. They're much more worse off than we are. We have this one situation, and I know with Kyle Pitts being out, that's a big deal. But you have a quarterback that's not necessarily getting them the ball as much as they need. So nothing's going to change when it comes with the passing game. Michael Pruitt looked pretty good. Don't get me wrong, the times that they did pass, they looked pretty good. He had a touchdown catch. But you need more of that. I'm not even going to lie. I'm to the point now, I would love to see this team throw the ball 30 times a game. 30 to 35 times a game. Balance that out with the running game that we have, the great running game we have. We can have an unstoppable offense. An absolutely unstoppable offense if we do this the right way. I don't know. I mean, maybe, like I said, I could be wrong. I'm just a guy behind the microphone and in front of a camera. I don't have all the answers. But look, I've been watching football, and I know this is going to sound crazy. I've been watching football all my life. And when you constantly see things over and over again, something's going to have to change. We all, and this is the problem. We all as fans concede to sell ourselves short. We see the problems by watching the football production on the field. We know when there's a problem with the player. We know when something don't look right. We see blown coverages. We see bad tackling. We see guys who just can't get it done. Don't get me wrong, the guys on the sideline, they know what they're doing. They're not in that position. But you can't say that we know nothing. We know something. We know BS when we see it. We know bad play when we see it. We know when we see a great player. Now that's funny. We know when we see a great player out there doing greatness and playing very well. But you mean to tell me when we have time to criticize because we see something bad, oh, now we're not the experts. You can't have it both ways. But a lot of people want to have it both ways, and it's ridiculous. We know what we see out there. We're not experts. I know we're not. We're not the ones that know talent and this, that, and the third, how to evaluate talent. But I know what I see on the field. It's a bad product. I don't know if Desmond Ridder's going to be the answer. Hell, I don't know if you can plug in another offensive lineman out there to do better pass protection. But I will say, what you put on the field, what I see for 40, 50, 60 plays a game, I see when a person is not doing something right. And we should not, as people who are watching the game, we can't sit here and say, oh, I know what I see, but I'm not an expert, so I can't speak on it. No, it's something out there that we see that it's something wrong. Something needs to change. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it changes, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think nothing changes because if you saw the Washington Commanders game, you know Kyle Pitts is done for the season. We're probably going to see the same old thing. Is that okay? I don't know. I really don't know because we're a mediocre team. I don't know if it's good or bad because we're like hovering around 500 and I don't know. I just don't know. You guys let me know. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give me a 5-star rating on that Apple Podcast rating. 5-star rating, please. I really appreciate it. Everybody, any other rating that you can give me the highest one possible. Give me some feedback. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know if I need to change anything. I appreciate you guys. This has been a great year. We're going into December now. This has been a great year for the podcast. You guys have made this grow exponentially. I put it on my Twitter, which is VF Baller, how much we've grown. Watching this, people are watching the show. People are listening to the show. We've been up, listenership has been up over 1,000%. I'm a kid you not. And that's awesome. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can continue to grow. Click that link down in the description for all my links. You can find me if you want to support. If you want to hit the Bet US, put some wages down on some games. That'll be great. Also, all the other things that you want. Like I said, all the links down if you want to support. Oh, one more thing. Go into the Discord. The link down in the description. Join the Discord. We are live over there talking about recruits, talking about what Georgia Southern's doing. It is live over there. Constant information if you want to know about the team outside of what I'm talking about now. Those guys over there in Discord, I cannot thank you guys enough. Guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, click that link. Click all the other links. Do all that good stuff. Support the show, and I will see you guys on the next one. Enjoy your Thursday. You guys be easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.